Alright, so I'm going to do a quick recap on Ironman Texas. I did a video about getting ready and everything, and I'm going to make it as quick as I can because it's easy to get into the trenches, but I think it'll be beneficial for somebody considering it. First off, I was training for St. George. I'm still going to St. George. I decided with a couple months to go ahead and do Texas. Now, I understand this is not a smart decision, but I'm not always racing for the peak performance. I like experiences too, and I like different challenges. So sure, maybe if I don't do one or do the other, I'll do better at one or the other and focus on one. But also doing a lot of events, I'm kind of about the experience. I'm just a middle-aged guy that likes to be outside and train, and have it in my life. So anyways, I went down there, and with that being said, I lacked some long stuff because I was training for 70.3. So I did 1 5-hour bike ride, multiple fours and multiple threes. My running was not insanely long. It never usually is. My swim, I say, was consistent, but so overall, I thought I had enough to get the job done. However, I DNF'd at mile 22. So what happened for me? First off, I just want to say the Woodlands is a beautiful place, and I would highly recommend the race. Yes, there are a lot of variables. No, we couldn't wear wetsuits, and I was super surprised by that. I shouldn't say super surprised by that. The day before, excuse me, the temperature of the water was 70, 2 degrees below, and it just jumped right up. And that's fine. I was telling myself it wouldn't be, but I expected it to be internally. But it's okay. I was actually excited to check that off my list. So I get down there. One note, when you're going to these events, it's easy to walk around and be up all day and really put a lot of stress on your body indirectly, okay? So I know when I went to Galveston last year, I walked 12 miles the day before the race, and I was like, what am I doing? You really got to try to mentally keep it chill. Anyways, so the race morning, it was beautiful. My dad was down there with me. Everything's going good, get everything set up. And I felt a little dull the day before. I had a little bit of a sinus thing. None of this is an excuse, by the way. I'm just explaining it as it was. And so I knew I was undertrained, but I thought I'll definitely make it to the finish line. I go to the swim, and it was just a slugfest. I made a mistake. Those athlete briefs, really listen. And it's weird because you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that. They say certain things, but it's easy in your mind just to see something the way it's not. And I did that race morning. I saw the times on the signs they hold to line up where to get into the water, and I saw 2.00 or whatever. And I thought that was per 100. Well, that was this whole swim time. So I'm over talking to Dad, and I get in. I hear him say, wetsuit, last of the non-wetsuit guys, because it was wetsuit optional, which means you don't qualify for any awards or anything, but you still get a medal with a wetsuit. In hindsight, I knew I wasn't going to qualify for anything anyways, and I just wanted to finish. I could have wore the wetsuit, but I kind of wanted to do it. It was the challenge. So I did it, and I got in behind the slowest swimmers and in front of the wetsuit guys. So I was catching a bunch of people and getting passed by a bunch of people, and it was a slugfest for an hour and 40 minutes, which is a very long swim for me. This morning, it's open water, it's different, and it is a slow swim, but this morning I was in the pool and I was swimming 145s really easy, and the pool is different, but I've swam 145s, 147 and a half at 37 minutes. So it was a long time in the water, and I used a lot of energy. Got out on the bike, and I knew it was tough, so I really paced the bike low. Very low on watts, very low zone 2. Heart rate was where I wanted it to be. My average heart rate was 139, and I really tried to hit my nutrition and fluid. About 4 hours into the bike, I had my plan. I was taking this many salt pills, this much water, and drinking to thirst a little bit. Not too thirst, but I had a plan that I would have enough. But about 30 minutes to go on the bike, my stomach started messing up on me, man. And I've had this before, and I have not figured out what my stomach really likes. Well, probably for me not to do these events is probably what it wants. But so when I got off the bike, my legs actually felt strong. They weren't deteriorated feeling. But the problem was I just could not get anything to sit, and I felt so sick the whole run. And I ran a mile, and then I was like, I'm going to walk, run right from the beginning and try to get this down, get recovered, go to water for a little bit, and then get the salt in, electrolytes, and try to get, try some different food, not just gels. Because my body starts to reject these gels. I swear it does. It just gets sick of it. And I look at a gel, and I know this is common, and I can't even touch it. It's just like I will throw up instantly. And that kind of happened to me. But I did get to the point where I got a little bit in me, and I was able to do a walk-run through the middle of the race. Instantly, when I got on the run, I knew this is going to be a long day. Something isn't right. And I was kind of not depressed, but just like trying to figure it out and diagnose why with that level of a bike. It could have been environment, it could have been my body on the day, it could have been a little bit of sinus and sickness, who knows, it could have just been lack of training, I'm not sure. And that's one thing that's really tough about this sport. It's hard to put your finger on something. You can train really hard and do what the training plan says, but you still might not have it on that day, and it's really hard to train your body for that long of an event. So I respect anybody and everybody out there, all different body types. It was amazing to see different people do different things, and it was a great experience despite not crossing the line. I learned a lot from it, and I really do like the 70.3 distance a lot, and I probably will stick to that. I'll probably try a full again eventually, but it will never be like my main thing. I'm a more muscular type person, so I burn a lot of fuel, a lot of energy. Again, not an excuse. I like training 3-hour long rides, not 5-hour long rides. I have a family, and it fits my life good, and it keeps me in shape. However, I know I'll try it again, but I definitely did not make it this time, and that gives me something to learn from. And I'm excited about it. It's such a different experience than a half Ironman. It's not even almost the same thing. It's actually not. I mean, you're doing the same thing, but there's nothing the same about it. So the bike, there was a lot of crashes. I really felt bad for some people. There was a cement truck that flipped over the divider of the highway into the bike course. Like, that's like some Final Destination shit. It was wild when you get that many people in one spot. But the Woodlands was amazing. If you're going to do a full and you want to bring your family or your kids, the Woodlands is a great place. Get one of those hotels down on the waterway, and you won't even really have to ever drive. Your kids can go in and out of the room. We stayed at the Marriott. There's pools, there's food, there's shade. It was really awesome. And the people down there are really nice and really into activities. You run through this really nice neighborhood full of like really rich people. And I mean like super rich. Like these houses are crazy. And that was super dope. Just looking at the houses like, dang, this is wild. The water, I mean, I didn't get sick from it. And it was a little choppy, and it's kind of a slow swim, and everybody says that, but I'll also say it also like wasn't terrible. It was kind of neat at the same time. Being in the canal does help, but everybody said the canal was the most crowded part. That was the place where I got hit the least. I don't know why. I think maybe because I actually went over to the right side of the canal, and a lot of people go to the left because the waves hit off the side and you can get in their face. But I was like, just give me some real estate. I'm sick of getting beat on, and I'm sick of beating on people. So the heat was hot, but like it could have been worse. Yeah, I just think, coming from Indiana, it's hard to say. But yeah, moving forward, if I do it again, I will really just have to get super fat adapted and definitely shed. I would like to shed some upper body mass. It's a real deal. It's so funny. There's like this probably 65, 70-year-old guy. I was doing a walk run, and he was doing like a speed walk. And I'd start running, and then I'd walk, and he'd go right by me. And then I'd start running, I'd pass him. I'd start walking, he'd go right by me. We did this for like 10 miles, and the dude's just literally in the zone. I'm like, man, you've been through some shit in your life because you are just locked in, bro. I respect it. And that's one thing I did enjoy, is just looking at all the different people like, man, what's your story? I'm fascinated by people's story. Like, I have a story. Like, we all are connected to our lives very close. And I always think like every single person has that. And it fascinates me. It really does. It truly is fascinating. I'm so thankful for the volunteers. I'm thankful for everything. And despite when we say the word fail, yeah, I failed to get to the line, but the experience of itself was not a failure. It was a positive. It was a growth moment. And that's the first event I've done that I haven't finished. But I went down, I got dizzy. I had to sit down because I was dizzy, and then my blood pressure was low, and they're like, you shouldn't continue. And I was like, okay, I won't. I paid I didn't pay $1,000 to die, Some people would be like, okay, I'm going to go till I'm not like a kid. Listen, this is a hobby, man. I'm not David Goggins, and I don't want to be. And I know that goes against the grain, but I think that's toxic and too much, to be honest. And I respect him, and I take parts of him, but I think it's too much. I think a consistent, moderate mentality in life with not too many crazy highs and too many crazy lows is actually probably the best way to live it, because it's just like a drug, like people that go so extreme. I'm all about extreme, but like within the level of your abilities and where you're at, because it's just a drug. It's better than the other situation, but but I'm not going to go into that rabbit hole. But I highly recommend the Woodlands. If I do it next year, like I would kind of like to go back there and redeem myself there and train for that throughout the winter, like really long, get fat adapted, maybe probably get a coach to figure out what my body needs to because I felt good. I just could not. I wasn't overheating. I didn't feel like it. My legs when I was running were good, man. I was ready, to lock into like 10-minute mile pace, just Ironman shuffle it. But I couldn't. Every time I started to jog too much or too long, I was like getting like super sick. And eventually my body, even walking, was like, you have nothing left. I think I was to the point where I had no glycogen 100%, maybe burning like some proteins for fuel. This is gross, but I've never, like my pee stunk so bad, dude. And I looked into it and I was like, okay, my body was burning some shit. And I think that's when my mind started to go, because like it was probably pulling shit from there, and not my brain was like lacking sugar, and your brain takes energy. Anyways, that's my experience. Highly recommend the race. Great event. Super, super cool. Bike's kind of but just for the family, and we owe it to them because they support us in this stuff, and they come watch us and doing the races that they like too, and they can enjoy is super cool. So that's my review on it. I'll be back. I'm going to St. George in 2 weeks. Yes, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be as good as I would be if I hadn't done, this one, but I've done two Ironman 70.3s, and I'm about on a flat course, I'm about a 5 to 5:10 guy, and a hilly course, 5:45. I'd just like to hit St. George at about a 6 hour or less, hopefully, but I just love that place. We've been there once before, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to go enjoy this situation, but still push myself within my limits. But yeah, so that's my story, and I just wanted to drop that because I want to have this for my own self too. So have a great one.